Today is the last Thursday of the month, so what does it mean? It is your question answered video day. I receive lots of comments and questions from viewers, and I am really overjoyed with such a great positive response because I can feel that I can actually make a difference. I can help so many people regardless how close or how far we are from each other. Mandy said, "Thank you, I value your videos and the way you explain things in simple language." Yvonne said about Retirement TV, "Thank you for the information and look forward to listening to your videos." Gary, "Thanks so much, Katherine. Your videos are very informative and a great help. Thank you again." Learning from Garden, "Love your work, very informative." Thank you so much for all those comments. Mark, for example, he wrote, "I love your videos covering all aspects of superannuation. Very informative. I could not help noticing your book on the Flinders Ranges. I have been there. It is an amazing place." Well, I replied to Mark, "Outside of financial planning, I have another passion, which is photography and hiking. I will hike to those difficult to get places and I will really immerse myself in exploration and photography." And this is my shameless way to show off my photo books to you in the background. As I really do not exhibit anywhere, well, at least not for now. By the way, if you have not been to Flinders Ranges, I encourage you to visit that place. It is one of the most amazing parts of Australia. Herman said, "Hi Katherine, I'm glad that I found your channel today, full of information that I really need to know right now as I am approaching my retirement age later in the decade." And many, many more. Considering that this is one person show, I personally prepare all the information for you, record all the videos, I do all the editing myself. It is amazing to receive such a beautiful response. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you and I promise I will keep on doing those videos for as long as I can. Money, retirement, superannuation, age pension, all topics in between. Those are never-ending subjects, so we have lots and lots to discuss ahead of us. And that really excites me. And today I will cover your questions in relation to Centrelink, age pension, and retirement income streams. If we haven't met yet, my name is Katherine Isbrandt. I'm a certified financial planner, and you are watching About Retirement TV, the place to get all the information you need if you are preparing for retirement in a few years, or if you have already retired and want to improve your financial position from perspective of income, assets, type of investments, age pension, and all the other financial aspects of retirement. As I always say, retirement is a journey, not a destination. So please, please make sure that you are well prepared for the ride. I received countless questions about retirement, but for some reason, some of your comments do not appear below my videos, which makes it really difficult to reply immediately. So this is exactly the case with Sue's questions after watching my video 9 Ways to Hide Money from Centrelink, which, by the way, is the most watched video on my channel. This is the video when I explain that your family home is just about the only asset that is exempt from income and asset test for age pension. And Sue wrote, "Wait, so home is exempt from asset? How about aged care fees? My uncle is telling me that the house I'm living in must be sold to pay the nursing home rent of $550,000. I tried to explain to him that pension can cover the nursing home fees of my mum, but he insists that it is the only way to pay them and that paying the daily care fees and accommodation fees out of my mum's pension is not allowed. I really need some help with this. Do you have an experience in this type of situations? I'm trying to figure out a way that my mum can continue to pay her nursing home fees with her pension, so I don't need to move from our home. If I have to move out from here, it will be just terrible, and I will probably end up being homeless because I cannot work due to disability. So I was unable to reply to your question. This is exactly why I'm doing this video. Your situation is more complicated. What I can say is that if you have disability, it is prudent to assume that you might be a recipient of disability pension from Centrelink. If this is the case, you are what is called a protected person, and you can continue living at home, and home will continue to be exempt for aged care fees. If, however, you are not receiving disability pension from Centrelink or any other Centrelink payment, this case is becoming more complex, and I am unable to give you advice through the video as it is becoming a personal advice. So please contact me directly, or if you know a financial planner that specializes in aged care, speak to your local financial planner. I really hope that this helps. Mohammed writes, "Hi Catherine, I did apply for my pension 2 years ago. I did advise of my full assets. I feel that I never use or cash in my super. My super keeps going up. I can't withdraw cash because it will be considered as an income. Therefore, I will lose half of my pension. What should I do right now? All my assets that I cannot touch unless I give up my pension. Please let me know." Well, Mohammed, if you are receiving the age pension already, it means that you passed the age pension age and you also reached your preservation age. Therefore, you are allowed to have assets to your superannuation savings. If you are receiving age pension, Centrelink calculates your super savings the same way, regardless if it stays in super, which is accumulation phase, or whether you move it to an income stream, which is your income phase. Because at this age, super balance and income stream balance are treated in the same way under asset test and under income test. So what does it mean? Under asset test, that will be the total balance of your super or of your income stream. Or under income test, your savings are subject to deeming rules, which means Centrelink does not really care how much income you actually draw from your income stream. They will deem it anyway. If you are not sure about deeming rules, watch my video Age Pension Income Test Madness. If you are only receiving a part pension, it is likely that your pension could be maximized. So contact me to find out how you could optimize your age pension, how you could receive a higher income. Herman wrote to me, "I'm turning 61 years old this year and I am working full time. I'm married and my wife is 50 and she's working part time. If I want to retire when I turn 67 and my wife continues working part-time, will the income and asset test be applied as a single or as couple?" And actually, Kevin wrote a very similar question. When you talk about single or combined persons, how do you categorize when one person is still earning a wage and is well under the age pension age, and the other person has little or no wage but is approaching age pension? Actually, a number of people ask that very question. So obviously, this is a little bit of confusion. So let's review this situation. One person is eligible for age pension and is ready to retire, while the partner is younger, still working, and obviously not of age pension age yet. So how does Centrelink calculate the age pension payment and how it treats the income of working partner? Centrelink will obviously look at the person applying for age pension as a couple at that point. After all, you do have a partner. The fact that only one person is eligible for age pension payment is really irrelevant. As far as your relationship status is concerned, you are couple. You have to disclose all the assets that are yours and your partner's, so all assets of the family. But do you remember my video 9 ways to hide money from Centrelink? Please watch this video as it will tell you exactly how you can use your younger spouse to legally hide money from Centrelink asset test assessment and actually increase the outcome of the age pension for the person who is eligible. What about your spouse's income? Yes, you guessed it. You have to disclose it, and it is calculated under income test, exactly the amount earned. And this could reduce the age pension entitlement quite dramatically. So at this point, you really have to ask yourself a question. Is it worth for my spouse to be working full-time, or maybe part-time work is better? DJ Proba asked me a question. I would like to retire when I turn 60. From 60 till 67, could I get pension from my super? I'm 55 years old right now. Absolutely, DJ. At the age of 60, you reach your preservation age. And if at that point you decide to retire, you also meet conditions of release, which means you are entitled to have access to your superannuation savings. And this is exactly what I explained in details in my previous video, when can I have access to my super? So for 7 years, you can draw income from your superannuation fund that obviously you rolled over to your pension fund. And once you reach age of 67, you can apply for age pension. It all sounds perfect, but just make sure that at the age of 67, you still have a sufficient balance in your superannuation savings to assist you with income for the rest of your life. Longevity is a real issue. A lot of people do run out of money far too early, and this is a real concern. You do not want to end up with age pension as your only source of income. If you don't know how long your money will last, well, this is where you have to speak to a financial planner that actually has technical knowledge about retirement income stream, longevity, and how to ensure that your income will last for as long as you need to. Feel free to contact me if you wish to receive more advice. Kira wrote, am I better to take a small pension from my super account to top up my age pension, or would it be better to leave money in a super account, hence reduce my incoming income and maybe get more money from Centrelink? Kira, this is a very similar question to Mohammed's question that I mentioned before. Once you are eligible for age pension under income and asset test, your superannuation savings are treated in the same way whether they are in a super or in an income stream account. So you might as well turn your superannuation savings to an income stream account and enjoy extra income. Just keep it to the minimum so your pension fund will last you for longer. So to make it bluntly clear, by you keeping savings in superannuation, if you are of age pension age, you are not increasing age pension payments. It has zero impact. If you are not receiving the full age pension, please contact me to find out what is the reason for age pension reduction and maybe how you can increase your age pension entitlement. And Paul wrote, hi Katherine, I am 2 years away from my age pension age. Want to retire now for personal reasons. Access my super to pay the remaining mortgage. Would I still qualify for part age pension in 2 years' time? Thanks in advance. Retiring 2 years before being eligible for age pension makes you 65 now. Hence, you have access to your superannuation and you can draw part or all of your superannuation, whatever the reason. Not that I am recommending this though. If you, however, have an outstanding mortgage, most certainly pay it off, even if that means reducing balance of your superannuation. You really don't want to have any debts when you retire. I often repeat that Centrelink will look at your last 5 years of your asset transaction and decide which transaction is acceptable, for example, gifting, and which is not. Withdrawal from superannuation to pay off your debts is not regarded as deprivation of assets, therefore you most certainly can do it. Then at the age of 67, you will advise Centrelink that the reason for your withdrawal was to pay off your debts. Centrelink will accept it with no issues whatsoever, and you are on your way to be assessed for age pension entitlement with the remainder of your assets. Providing you're eligible under income and asset test at that time, you will receive your entitlement. After watching the Truth About Asset test, Young wrote, "Hi, it is great information. I have a house in New Zealand which is rented, and I am living in a rental house in Australia. Can my house be excluded under asset test? Thanks." The answer is unfortunately not. You actually have to live in a house. It has to be your home, and then it can be excluded from the asset test. In this situation, Young, your house in New Zealand is regarded as an investment property, counted under asset test, but as a benefit, you are regarded as a non-home owner with a higher asset test allowance. And also, you could be eligible for rental assistance. Watch my previous video, Your Questions Answered, that explains the rental assistance in more details. After watching my video Age Pension Deeming, Biliana wrote, "Does Superfund also count as deeming income when you retire?" Well, Biliana, absolutely. Once you retire, Centrelink will count your super under asset test and estimate income as per deeming rules, regardless whether you draw income or not, and regardless if money stay in a super or if it has been moved to an income stream. And Katherine wrote, "Do you have to take a pension account once you reach Centrelink pension age? What about advice for those who have small supers? Most advice I hear is for people who have million or so, I wish." What about if superannuation balance at retirement is below the asset limit for a couple of age pension, about 400,000? The pension account allocation at 4 or 5% would be small, so wouldn't it be better in a super fund, waiting for a rainy day, earning good income and have no pension account? This is a similar situation to Biliana's. Katherine, whether you keep your money in super or you move it to a pension fund makes no impact on your age pension payment. Centrelink calculates them exactly the same way. However, don't forget that if you keep money in a superannuation, all earnings are subject to 15% tax, while a pension fund does not pay any tax at all. So, given a choice, why would you keep money in an account that pays tax on your behalf if you don't have to? Yes, once money moves to a pension, you do have to receive your income payments. But if you have sufficient income from other sources, who says you have to spend it? Start a good savings plan on the side and get similar returns to those from your super fund. If unsure, just contact me for extra advice. And after watching my video Age Pension Income Test, Andrea wrote, "Thanks, Katherine. Your videos are great help, even though the system is so confusing. My husband is retiring next week and is receiving a reasonable payout from 25 years with the company. We will be putting money in a bank. Is this classified as income or as investment? I don't think it is fair being classified as both. Hopefully, he may still get part pension. I'm not at pension age yet. Thanks again for your great work. You put a lot of effort into your videos." Well, thank you so much, Andrea. Yes, it is a lot of work, but I do enjoy it. So to answer your question, as per my message to you already, please watch my famous video, 9 Ways to Hide Money from Centrelink. First thing is first, your husband's payout is not going to be treated as an income, but it will be counted as an asset. Leaving your husband's payout in a bank account is really not most efficient for your husband's age pension entitlement. It can be officially hidden in your superannuation until you reach your age pension age. But you have to know superannuation contribution rules and limits to do that. You could benefit a lot as long as it is done within allowable rules. so you are not subject to any penalties. And my suggestion is to organize your assets well before you make application for age pension. If you are unsure how to maximize your age pension for your husband, just contact me directly. Well, it turned out to be a very long video, but it just goes to show how complex age pension rules are and how easy it is to make a mistake or to miss out on a great benefit if you don't know the system. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my channel not to miss my next video. All my videos are coming out weekly, each Thursday at 7:30 a.m. Also, as you can see, I do reply to all questions. So if you have one and I haven't answered that question yet, please write below my video. For more information, visit my website about retirement.com.au, and while you are there, sign up for my newsletter as well. And now I invite you to watch those retirement videos that you could have missed, all about income streams and age pension and how to optimize it. The second lot of videos cover superannuation and how to be well prepared with your super assets for your retirement. See you in my next video. All the best.